So today we're assembling the Donna. This assembly will be the same for the Rider and the Rider X. First thing we're gonna do, gonna add the handlebar. You're gonna want to make sure that it's in up to the line. There's a little line here that tells you how far in it should be. And we're gonna tighten it. Make sure it's tightened really hard. Now over here, we're gonna loosen it up so we can adjust the angle of the handlebar. You adjust it how you like. Make sure that it's even on both sides. Once you find your angle, tighten it back. Now you want to make sure that the brakes are facing to the front. We're going to disconnect the brake. We're going to add the fender. When installing the fender, make sure that that little lobe is to the top. It's in the front. And we're gonna use the screw that the light came with. Gonna pass it all the way through, tighten it in the back. Gonna get a 10mm for the back. We're gonna use a 4mm Allen key for the front. Make sure that there is no gap in between the fender and the fork. You're gonna want this as high as possible. Leave the tiniest gap that you can so far. Now we're gonna go ahead and flip the bike over. The legs to the fender to the fork. I'm gonna use the size 4 Allen key for this. Make sure that it is pushed all the way to the back like this. Now we're going to go ahead and add the tire. When adding the tire, make sure that these little side parts, they're pointing towards the crank. You can also, your tire also comes with a indication right here of which way it should go. Once you're here, you're gonna see a washer with a little leg. You're gonna put that little leg inside this hole in between these two, and then the flat washer goes on top. And now you're gonna hand tighten both sides, and then we're gonna get a 15mm wrench, and we're gonna tighten a little bit on one side and a little bit on the other, and you're gonna do that again for about 2 to 3 times until it's fully tightened. Now we're gonna flip the bike back over. Make sure that this metal piece is in there. Now that we have the brakes attached, we're gonna go ahead and add the pedal. When adding the pedal, make sure you screw it in clockwise. Now we're going to tighten it off with a wrench, 15mm. And the Donna, Rider, Rider X is assembled. When it comes to the Rider X, you can skip the fender part. Everything else will be the same.